Welcome back, everybody. We're back with another episode of Low Production. We're bringing you episode 28, and we got J-Lo in the morning. I got a text from Vaughn. He goes, "Yeah, dude, I'm gonna be working. My buddy Josh from California is in town, so I don't know what to tell you, Jess. I'm out." And I'm like, I'm just trying to figure stuff out. And then I get a text from Joe. I'm like, "Hey, you got to record today, Jess." So like I had to bring in my Superman. I'm like, all right, I guess I got to phone a friend. And we got J-Lo in the building, dude. First guy I text. And he came. I mean, what a real one. What's going on, J-Lo? Can you tell us about yourself?
My name is Josh. I went to school with Jesse for a long time, and I've just been doing my own thing for a little bit. But he sent me a quick call and asked me to come on. I felt like it'd be a good time, so here I am.
Yeah, man. Look at us now, man. We're both in the fire career. We used to work together at BD's Mongolian Grill, bro.
Way back when.
Man.
Yes, sir. It's been a long time.
Man, dude, yeah, it has been, bro. And speaking of which, we got this NFL draft. What do you think of the NFL draft? This guy's an expertise. This guy's always balling out in fantasy. Like he is like the New England Patriots in fantasy football. Like you don't want this guy to win because he's gonna ruin your day.
Jesse, I just want you to know, during that last fantasy draft, I was sitting there chuckling for all the things that you were letting fall to me every single round. So, I looked at my partner in the middle of it. I was like, there is no way that they just let Ashton Jetty. I was like, but that's all right with me. So, you know how it is. I'm not that great at fantasy, but Jesse tries to talk me up, make me seem like I'm better than I am. So,
Dude, like this is the guy that he got Bijan Robinson, bro, and he was balling out.
It was a great season for me. What can I say?
I'll never forget back in high school when you got Young Hoku, bro, and he was getting you like 27 points a game. Like what?
What can I say? He's my go-to kicker every year until he fell off this last couple of years. But it's okay. It's okay.
Man,
We just gotta find the next great kicker coming in so he can save me some games.
Man, number 7 Atlanta, and then you got Michael Vick, number 7 Atlanta.
It's just a great number sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes pause.
No, yeah. But how do you feel about the actual NFL draft that's is going through right now?
Dude, I'm sitting here and I'm with my boy Dr. Bell. Like we'll get you on soon, Doc. But we're sitting here in the day room and we're watching the draft. And we see Arvell Reese is on the board.
Okay.
He drops from second from the Jets, third to the Cardinals, fourth, 5. And the 5th pick, we see the Chiefs traded with the Cleveland Browns. I'm like, we're going to get Arvell Reese. Like, what's up with it, boy?
Yeah.
Giants pick Arvell Reese, and I'm just bummed. And then I want Ruben Bain, the guy with the short arms, the dinosaur man. Yeah. Dude, and we get a cornerback at 6. And I'm like, what? This is the 15th ranked player in the draft, and we just traded up to get him?
Well, I don't know if you saw anything that they were saying about him, but from LSU, he's got some great play style for a cornerback, and especially after us just getting rid of our last cornerback that we had with Trent McDuffie, trade him off to the Rams. I see it being a great option for us, especially with Steve Spagnuolo. Great person right there for defense.
Yeah, so I mean, I was bummed about it, but you needed a corner, and that's a day one guy that comes into the building and he does his thing. And it all worked out because I wanted the edge. I wanted that edge because if Felix Ndugeka, who's I don't know what his name is, but you a bum if you're watching this, Felix. But it's all right because I wanted an edge to replace you, but we ended up getting Thomas in the 2nd round.
That is true. And I don't know if you saw, but we got somebody else who was really good on the defensive line in the 1st round, just all the way at the end of the 1st round. So I was like, that's a good spot up there too. Trying to get the young guys in there, maybe learn from Chris Jones a little bit on that D tackle spot.
Yeah, dude, that's supposed to be Chris Jones' replacement. How do you feel? Chris Jones is 32 years old.
I mean, he's been playing really well, but also, are we really going to pay him the money that he deserves for all that he's done for us moving forwards? Or is it better to kind of do what we did with Trent McDuffie, let him kind of move on to something else? Same thing like we did with L'Jarius Sneed, let him move on to something else, and we get somebody that's younger and can kind of bring that youth into the building.
Yeah, and I've been always just an advocate on Chris Jones. Like, he was the pillar of the defense. But you seen last year, you got the Jacksonville Jaguars with Trevor Lawrence. They're marching downfield. They're on the 2-yard line.
Yeah.
And he falls down. And he gets up and he runs it in for the touchdown. And you look back on that play, and no wonder why he was able to score the touchdown. Chris Jones stopped on the play.
He did. And I mean, it could just be one of those things where he's kind of getting older. It could be one of those things where he thinks he's already done his time. You never fully know. So why not get those young guys in there and need to prove themselves, continue to push themselves, and every single play come out there, give it their all? Why not bring those guys in and try and give a little bit of a competition to those guys that have been there for a while, you know?
Yeah, I couldn't say it better than that, J-Lo. Man, this is the guy right here, boy. What's up with
You
it?
never know.
Man.
We'll only see as time goes on, you know? Like, bringing in Justin Fields as a good backup for Patrick Mahomes, I think that's a great spot. A lot of people like to hate on Justin Fields, but I think he's young, he's got the youth, and he's a quick, mobile quarterback, so why not bring him in just in case Patrick Mahomes goes down? We got a reliable backup in the backfield too.
I mean, remember his time with the Steelers? I mean, he won 3 games. 3 of those, Wilson was out for what, 4 games of that?
I think so.
And Fields, dude, I was starting him in fantasy,
He's
bro.
doing good.
Like, what? And we
Yeah.
got him for a 6th-round pick.
I mean, that, and I mean, we only paid him like $40 million a year for 2, I think it's $40 million for 2 years, actually.
Yeah.
So, I mean, getting him, and yeah, he played for the Jets last year, but it's the Jets.
It's
What do you really
the
expect?
Jets.
What do you really expect? I mean, Jets and quarterbacks, they don't go well together. So why not bring him in, learn behind Patrick Mahomes, and see where he goes moving forwards in the future too?
J-Lo, I'm not gonna lie, the most boneheaded thing I've said on the podcast was back in week 1 after the Jets and the Steelers had one phenomenal game.
Yeah.
And I said the Jets were a top 5 team, bro.
You know,
With
it's a
Brees
little-
Hall,
it's a little
Garrett
rough.
Wilson, and Garrett Wilson and Fields.
Yeah,
I thought they were a big 3, but I'll tell you this, man. You're right. They are a big field. They are a big 3. In fact, I was so pressed about Brees Hall us offering a 4th-round pick and not getting him for a 3rd, because then you could have came back to this year and then said, you know what? We don't want Kenneth Walker. We could just re-sign with our guy Brees Hall that made us to the playoffs and carry this team.
Yeah. I was a little disappointed we didn't get Brees Hall, you know. And I mean, him being so close to home, if he were to come back, since he was over in I believe it's Wichita, whenever he was growing, or not Wichita, yeah, Wichita. Coming in out of high school, going into college, like he'd be close to home too. A little bit of a cheaper price than we got for Kenneth Walker, which I mean, paying a running back that much is a little egregious for me, but also he's just a Super Bowl MVP. What can you really expect? He's gonna be a big price tag.
What can you expect with the guy from Kenneth Walker? Here's the Jesse dilemma: is Kenneth Walker hasn't had a full season where he's healthy.
That is true.
And then this year comes in and he's splitting carries with Zach Charbonnet. His first healthy season, he's splitting carries. So that was my dilemma. But you also look at it and it was like, when you're playing against Seahawks, it's like we're gonna force Zach. We're gonna not Zach Wilson. I was thinking of the other one, Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
We're gonna force him to throw the ball, and he's gonna throw to Ghost. But then we found out, you know what? He was from part of the Jets offense.
Exactly.
So but the thing about it is, you look at the runners in the box against him last year, Kenneth Walker, he was 8th. Now this year with the Chiefs, Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt were ranked 31st.
Exactly.
Just so the fact that he's going to a game and that's going to force the defense to be honest.
Exactly.
He's going to keep the defense honest, and then Mahomes is going to do his thing.
And that's what I think too. I think it would have been nice to get a wide receiver in the draft, which I don't fully know if we did or not. I haven't paid that enough attention as I should have. But however, I think that Rashee Rice is able to stand his own. I think Xavier Worthy needs to do a little bit better moving forwards. But I do agree with you on Kenneth Walker's going to keep him honest in defense. Now, it's one of those things too of, like you said, it's going to split carries a little bit, but also I see him as a consistent number 2 running back in my fantasy team every year. So if I think that he can be consistent in that aspect, why not at least give him a little bit of a chance? Now, for the price tag, again, a little expensive, but what do you really expect when you're getting the Super Bowl MVP?
So that's all I need to hear is if he's starting him in fantasy at running back, then that's a guarantee, because this guy is the Patriots at fantasy football, bro. So, dude, you know what? I'm drafting Kenneth Walker 1st round after hearing you say that you're going to have him as your number 2 runner.
If you want to do that, that's fine, because then I'll just go ahead and pick Jamar Chase or Bijan.
That's what I'm saying, man. He's Tom Brady, bro. I think he's won 2 championships in my league, man. He is diabolical, bro, for real.
What can I say? I will say, even the first pick that I had last year, I was in the middle of doing some stuff at the hospital, and I looked at a couple of the nurses there. I was like, who do you think I should pick? And I went with Bijan Robinson, and because I knew that they were all saying Jamar Chase, I was like, I can't trust the nurses on that one. I got Bijan. And then you know what happened? I was like, we got to see. It was a surprise. I was round 1 pick 1 though. I'm pretty sure I was supposed to be last, but I'll take round 1 pick 1. That's fine with me.
Okay, man. Attaboy, dude. Yeah, that was good, man.
Fantasy year.
So here's where I'm at with the offense, J-Lo. We got Xavier Worthy that hasn't been He took a step back last year.
That is true. That is true.
And then you got Rasheed Rice, who also took a step back, and then you also don't know his off the field issues. What are you getting with him?
I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where kind of seeing what happened in the off field, do I even want to be a fan of him moving forwards, honestly? But then, like, it's one of those things too where he's played really well. Like, as a team aspect, I think he can be really good, but I don't know if he's gonna be a good, like, wide receiver number 1. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. Yeah, dude, like, is he really a 1? And you seen, like, after, like, Petrie, did you see that hit Petrie put on
That
him?
is true.
Like, I think these teams see Rasheed Rice now, and he's kinda got a target on his back.
I could see that.
With taking all these hits and stuff. You look at Xavier Worthy too with that issue, and that leaves you with Tyquan Thornton, and you look at Tyquan Thornton, and they kinda went away from him.
And, like, looking at our wide receivers that we have right now for the Chiefs, they're all really small. Like, yes, they're fast, but it's one of those things where it feels like we're trying to find the next Tyreek Hill moving forwards, and
Mhm.
they're all small. They're all a little bit on the lighter side, so they're gonna get banged around, knocked around. It just leads to more injuries moving forwards.
I know, dude. I think you got this Tyreek Hill was kinda like the Steph Curry of the NFL. Like, Steph Curry, like, he changed the game where it's like everybody's shooting threes.
That's true.
Tyreek Hill changed the game for wide receivers. Now we got all these small, skinny, fast receivers like Zay Flowers that hasn't been great. You've got Xavier Worthy where it's like you don't know what it is. But like they seen Tyreek Hill over the years, he's short and he's fast and he was able to get open and now they're like, "Oh yeah, there must be a lot of Tyreek Hills." So they've created offenses around Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, that's true.
And you know what? Tyreek Hill was great until they made that two-shell defense that they did in the Super Bowl
Yeah,
against the
yeah.
Buccaneers, and that really slowed down his
Now
production.
now talking about the Super Bowl, about the Buccaneers, like, you
Yeah.
can't all blame that on Tyreek Hill. That was also the offensive line.
Yeah.
That was the defensive line for the Buccaneers being great. Like, that's one of those things where it's not always gonna be the wide receiver's fault, but it's one of those things too where all these other teams are seeing the plan for how to be as great as we were. Like, just for example, with the Raiders, they're signing Kirk Cousins so they can draft Fernando Mendoza in the first round, first overall. Gonna let him sit for a year probably behind Kirk, who's a great veteran, and you're seeing that. You're seeing the Dolphins trying to, like, bring back what we had when they had Tyreek Hill, having the fast wide receiver with Jalen Waddle, pairing him up there too, having the young quarterback with Tua, and you saw exactly what happened in Miami. They traded away Jalen Waddle. Tyreek Hill has now been released, and their only good guy is Devon Achane because now Tua is with the Falcons.
Oh my
It's
gosh. And then can you also believe yeah, Tua's with the Falcons,
Yes,
man.
sir, yes,
And
sir.
I think that was a great signing by the Falcons because Michael Penix is left-handed, Tua is left-handed. Tua had his best game against the Falcons. He plays better in domes. And I think Tua, I don't know, it's like he keeps getting good offenses. I mean, he's coming to a good offense with Drake London and Kyle Pitts.
Man, I wish the Chiefs would get Kyle Pitts as, when Travis Kelce retires. I would love me some Kyle Pitts. Not been playing well at all, but he had his best year last year, and I think he's only gonna progress moving forwards. He's a tall, a little bit on the lighter side, tight end, but he's quick, and I mean, I think he could be great if he's placed in the right position and with the right quarterbacks who are willing to throw him the ball.
So you're a Kyle Pitts believer
What can
in
I say?
fantasy. What do you know
What
about
can I
that,
say?
man?
I mean, he's one of those guys where, again, like, hasn't had the quarterbacks to really give him the production that he needs, and I think last year he had a good quarterback willing to be able to get him the ball more often, um, and a lot of guys have told him, like, "Oh, we're gonna get to the ball," and they never do. But it's one of those things of, are you actually gonna throw him the ball? Because when you do, he's able to make the great catches, he's able to get up over the defensive guys. I think he has still the potential. I think he has now been fully tapped into, especially because he's on Atlanta. I mean, they just choke games, and maybe they're just gonna choke his career. You never know how it's gonna go.
Dude, they can never beat those allegations of choking games after 51, man.
You're not wrong, you're not wrong.
Dude, I love who's your Instagram meme page, dude? Ghetto
Absolutely,
Drunk?
absolutely, he's gonna
Man,
go.
what's up with it,
That's
boy?
who it's gotta be.
Dude, Ghetto Grunt, man, it's like no matter how many times it gets banned, it's like Stream East. It's always back.
He's always got at least 1 or 2 other accounts he's posting from, man. And you look at the NFL memes page, alright, we all know that those are not real good memes, and then you
Yeah.
get Ghetto Gronk that's got the good unhinged memes, you know how it is?
Oh, man, did you see that Ty Simpson's meme the other
I
day?
did not look at that one yet. I haven't been on Instagram as much as I probably should be, but I would definitely be taking a look at it once we get off this podcast.
Let me give you some background now knowledge about
Okay.
Ty Simpson,
Okay.
quarterback for the Alabama Tide.
Okay.
You know, I'm all about the Tide, Joe always says, but he's an Alabama guy, and he gets drafted to the Rams organization.
I did see that. I did see that.
Now, keep in mind, so from the Rams organization, the owner wanted Ty Simpson really bad.
Yeah.
And get this, you can tell Sean McVay,
Yeah.
he did not want he didn't want Ty Simpson because
What was it?
he's married to Matthew Stafford, man.
Okay. Okay.
That's his boy, and so you can tell, like, he's bummed because it's like Matthew Stafford's getting older. You got maybe 1 year left. He'd like to believe in fairyland that he's got
Absolutely.
5 more, but
Absolutely.
he's not ready for the change. And you know, Ty Simpson, he gives them the call, and he's like, "This is so funny. You gotta watch this." But maybe old Jess can edit this and put it into the video. But
Okay.
Ty Simpson, he calls Ty Simpson, and he goes, "Hey, Ty Simpson, you excited about being a we're drafting you at 13." And Ty Simpson is like, he's trying to do like the movie cliche of, "Oh my God, coach, let's go make history." And he's got that like, "Oh, okay, let's all right." But
Move
it's
forwards.
dude, yeah, dude, you gotta check it out. He's like, "Oh man, it was so funny. I was seeing it, and I'm like, dude, like," and I get it, like, you know, you gotta be so geeked to make it to the league.
Oh, absolutely. It's all that hard work and effort they've been putting in over the years.
Yeah, no, like it's crazy because you see in the service too, like the EMS service where like you get in the service, you're excited for what's to come, and
Mhm.
you're real excited and pumped about it, and then you get the 5 year guy that's kind of seen it all, and they're like, okay, yeah, it's just another day for them, you know?
Exactly, exactly. But I mean, also too, I will say when it comes down to the NFL drafts and the quarterbacks that have been in there, I was surprised to see that even in the 7th round, the LSU quarterback has not been picked up yet.
Nunsmeyer, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, he's like the Shador Sanders of this year. He was supposed to go in the late first
I
round.
think then people were talking about the 3rd round, and I mean, yes, he has had injuries. Yes, he has, but it's one of those quarterbacks where you never know really how he's gonna do moving forwards and in the future, and when he is on the field, he's got some great flashes, so I'm just surprised that he's fallen all the way down into the 7th round, and who knows, maybe after we've, filmed this podcast, he might have been drafted in the 7th round,
Man,
but you never know.
you never know,
I will
man.
say it's kinda crazy that Cleveland did pick up another quarterback.
Another one, dude.
They
I mean,
did.
dude, look at who's the starting quarterback for Cleveland right now? Is
I
it
think it's
Deshaun
still
Watson?
I think it's still Shedeur.
You give it to Shadur, who's QB2, and you give it to Dylan or you give it to Deshaun?
I think for QB2,
Yeah.
I think you get Deshaun Watson out of there, man. I don't
Yeah.
think he's anywhere near that franchise anymore. I don't think he should be anywhere near any sort of franchise right now. But I mean, that's where I think you give it to Dylan, but then it also kind of depends on how this new quarterback that they got coming in, which is Green. I'm very curious on how he's going to kind of slot in there. I mean, I don't know if giving Joe Flacco the reins last year was a great decision. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe they give it to this new rookie magically. Um, but it's one of those things where you usually gotta see. I think it's Cleveland's one of those ones you always gotta kinda see how they played out, and then you sit there and you kinda chuckle at the end of it. So, we'll kinda see
Yeah.
how it goes this year, and then who knows? Maybe we'll get a chuckle, maybe we won't.
Yeah, I mean, they're not building a foundation around him. I'm watching the first round, dude, and I'm like, dude, they gotta get him a receiver. I mean, Jerry Judy ain't cutting it.
No, he's not. I mean, Jerry Jeudy has never been cutting it even for the Broncos, but I mean, it's one of those things where Jerry Jeudy might have the flashes moving forwards. He has those good games, but is he really that first round wide receiver that anyone drafted him to be? I don't know. Then again, I don't want to call him just that guy because we saw he threw punches last time somebody called him just that guy. So you got to give him a little bit of room for credit, but
Yeah.
it's one of those things where you never fully know how they're going to pan out. Now, Cleveland could have got Shedeur some good baseline and a good, nice little solid foundation, and they traded their pick away to the Chiefs, which I'm not gonna say no to, you know? I'll take
Oh,
that
yeah.
quarterback and pick 11 than anybody else, you know?
You sup with it, boy.
What can I
Sup
say?
with it, man. What was your craziest surprise from the draft?
I don't know really yet. I think that the Chiefs trading up in the first place to get a cornerback was surprising
That
'cause
was
we
crazy.
don't really move up that often,
It
but
was shocking.
if
Everybody was upset at work.
Oh,
Was
yeah,
shocked.
I mean, yeah, but whenever we move up and whenever we trade up, the last time we did was for Patrick Mahomes.
Oh,
So, I mean, if we're
man.
gonna go ahead, we're gonna go ahead and draft or move up in the draft. They always got a plan behind it, so I'm willing to see kinda how it pans out, where they're gonna go with it.
That is the Chiefs faithful right there because I remember when we traded up to get Mahomes, I'm like, "No way. We let we picked this Mahomes guy over Watson. Now fast forward, like, Deshaun Watson
Look how it is now with us
is
saying we don't want him anywhere near a
dude,
franchise.
what do we know about it, bro? What do we know, you know?
You know, it's one of those things where you just gotta kinda watch and see how it plays out. Like, I will admit, I was a Tua Tagovailoa guy coming out of the draft,
Yeah.
and then sadly, he has not panned out, and that's rough for them and, rough for Miami, but, you know, I don't know. You never know how it's gonna go, so you always gotta kinda give him at least maybe 2 years. I think the first year is always a rough one, it's just the adjustments, so you gotta give him at least 2 years, see how they pan out.
Yeah, dude, you would be shocked about this, man. Like, at the 3rd pick,
Yeah.
I had, Averill Reese going to the Cardinals because the Cardinals are the 28th ranked defense in the league.
Then they picked a running back.
They picked a running back, and, you know what's crazy about that? With the 4th pick, I had the Tennessee Titans picking that running back.
Mhm, and then they went and got themselves a wide receiver, which I think honestly could be great for Cam Ward. He had a this year.
The biggest dilemma for me is Cardinal Tate is a wide receiver 2 for Ohio State. He's not even wide receiver 1 at Jeremiah that's Jeremiah Smith.
But he's been playing real good.
Yeah, you know what? He has been playing well,
Mm.
bro. But what do you know? When he was like the draft, he's like, "I'm always open." I'm like, "Yeah, because you're wide receiver 2 on the Ohio
Ex
State Buckeyes.
but
Everybody's guarding Jeremiah
but
Smith."
the thing is, you gotta think about Ohio State has always had great wide receivers.
Yeah,
They
they
at least
do.
have 1 or 2 good wide receivers, like, you gotta think about Jackson Smith and Jigba used to be there.
Oh
You
my
know, it's
gosh,
one of those
dude.
things. I feel like Ohio State is just like how LSU has been with wide receivers because LSU used to have Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson on their lineup. So I mean, who knows? Maybe Ohio State has Tate there, and then he's
Yeah, I
just number
guess,
2, but he could be a number 1.
man, fair enough. That was well said, man.
Thank
I
you.
like that.
Ohio State's got good wide receivers. You
Dude,
never
they
know how it's
do.
gonna
Who
go.
you taking, Ohio State's receivers or LSU's?
I think seeing how it's panned out, I'd have to go LSU's with
Yeah.
Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. But then again, Jackson Smith and Jigba was the number 1 wide receiver last year for a lot of people. And then Garrett Wilson was right there starting at the same time that he was. So it's one of those things of who you really want. Do you want the physical guys or do you want more of the speed guys? It really just depends.
Well, if you're the Kansas City Chiefs and you could have any player right now, is that your guy, Jackson Smith-Njigba? Is that who you're taking?
I don't think so. I think I'd have to go Justin Jefferson. Yes, sir,
Jefferson,
and I
bro, with
remember
the
that they were
grading.
talking about the trades possibilities, but it never panned out, but I think Justin Jefferson is a great wide receiver. He's got the great height, he's got the great speed, he's able to get up over guys. Jamar Chase, I don't he's a little shorter, he is, for a lot of people, arguably the number 1 wide receiver, but you gotta think about their passing offense compared to our passing offense. We are more of a spread the field, throw it all the way down the field, where Jamar Chase is a good route runner who can get the shorter passes, and he's got a great wide receiver too who's gonna take the heat off of him. Um, the Bengals have always scared me, but that's okay because I think that ultimately, going back to that old, who's your top number 1, quarterback, and Jamar Chase being like, "I'm not gonna say his name." I think
I guess that is Dave,
that
dude.
just says
I'll never
everything.
forget.
It just says everything about our offense.
Bro, I've been dying to get this poster of like, and it's not out there. The sad thing is, it's not even out there, Josh.
Which poster is it?
He's got Mahomes got 2 rings on, and
Okay.
he says, "That's who."
Okay,
Remember
okay.
when he goes, "Who's the best? Who you think Patrick Mahomes is the best in the league?" And he goes, "Pat who?" And then he posts on Facebook, no, Twitter. He's got his 2 wings, and he goes, "That's who."
I think that would be good.
That
That
would
would
be
be a good poster.
hard, dude.
That would be an amazing poster, and I think a lot of people have been hating on him, but then I think after this year that we had this down year, I don't know if you've noticed it, but a lot of people have stopped hating on us after we had one down year, and I mean, they're like, I don't really know who to hate because they can't hate on the Seahawks because they were a great team coming into it or coming into the Super Bowl, and you can't hate on the Patriots right now since they lost the Super Bowl, so everyone's like, I don't really know which team to hate. You never know who it's gonna be moving forwards. So,
Yeah.
you know?
You know what they said in the internship, right? They hate us because they
Th
ain't us.
that is true. I think that's the interview.
Oh, that's the
Mhm,
one.
mhm. That's a great movie,
They
great movie.
hate us because they ain't us.
Great movie, great movie.
But yeah, what's up with it? But you want to break us off for episode 28 of Low Production?
So it's been low production. It's been great to talk about football with you, Jess. And
Yeah.
hope moving forward you bring it back. If not, that's cool
Hey
too.
man,
Had a great
I'm
time.
Pat McAfee, man. You could be with the next Aaron Rodgers where you hop on, hop off, you know.
Whenever you need me, you just give me a call, man.
Oh
I'll be here.
man.
It's been great to talk. It's been a great time to be on camera.